it's called the Golden Fleece, and it was sold for 1,700 pounds 7 years ago. One tiny bulb.
Oh my gosh. I'm looking it up now, and it's not very cute. I mean, it's okay. But what? Why? I don't.
Welcome back, good plant people. This is the Plant Nerd Podcast. The four of us are here to share any kind of plant wisdom that we might think we have with you. So please we got one of our best comments on YouTube. It was so great. She said, I love you guys. And I don't know, maybe she asked a question or something, but somebody loves us.
There we go.
Somebody.
I was really excited. Yeah. I was like, someone loves us. Someone watches. Yes.
That's not my mom. Thank you. All right. So
your mom better loves us too.
Yeah, that's true. But she doesn't do emoticons. She just gives the actual love. Anyway, so for the millennial maven herself, Michelle, she's in the flesh. For the princess of the perennial garden, Kata, all the way from Australia or Austria. I can't remember. And then I know, just trying to wake you up. And then Devin, the Dom of the North Florida Garden. Got a little sunburn, but we're glad you're here. We got a lot to cover. We got a full agenda. Devin, do you want to kick it off here? Because we have let's go over the weather. Okay, I'm still wearing a heavy coat. It's pouring cats and dogs. It's cold, but you know that just spring is almost there. What's blooming right now? You got the star magnolias, the saucer magnolias are popping. You got, what else is just singing? We got snowdrops we're going to talk about that are popping. Daffodils, either showing their face or just about to. What else is have y'all just seen this weather?
Should be coming up soon.
Oh, matches your shirt. That's there right.
Yes.
I already got hamamelis in my garden blooming. Also yellow.
Exciting.
Also It's February is over. It's March 1st, and it just feels like spring is almost here. And we're going to have another 70-day weather here in Atlanta in a few days. And I know everybody's going to race to their garden to do something. But before you go outside, Devin, you got something to tell us. What is growing up?
Well, so since, down here in North Florida, we're a little bit ahead. It's been in the 70s. I'm in shorts, T-shirts, and a flip-flops down here because it's overcast today, but not raining. But this time of year, it's really key to remember your houseplant care because, me, I'm a crazy plant person. I got tons of houseplants. I got tons of plants outside, but inside I also have a lot of houseplants. So when they've gone through the winter and they're just exhausted from, kind of being in a dormant phase, you want to kind of wake them up and get them going. So I like to give them a little bit of fertilizer just to wake them up, get them going, because you'll start to see that growth now that the days are starting to get longer. So
people are going to ask, which fertilizer? What do you use?
Sure.
I just use Miracle-Gro. I use Miracle-Gro.
I do
You just
too.
do a low dose. Yeah, I just do
too.
1 teaspoon to a gallon of water. It's great. Just give them a little bit to wake them up and keep an eye on your watering because you're going to want to increase your watering now that the days are getting longer. So, in the winter, you were probably watering at least me, I was watering once every 2 weeks. But now I'm going to start checking them once a week because you're going to start to see growth and you really want to capitalize and get them to grow and be beautiful. So that's what's going on down here, inside stuff.
So which one do you absolutely not do that, fertilize? I'm not a houseplant person at all. So I will be okay, Devin said fertilize. So I'm fertilizing everything, not thinking twice.
So if you have African violets or orchids, you want to use more of a specialized fertilizer for them because they do make African violet food and orchid food. Blooming houseplants, are going to want a higher middle number. But other than that, succulents, everything, just give Miracle-Gro.
Can't wait for my husband to come because it's his world.
He's getting on it.
That's his world. Yeah.
Devin said.
I don't know what the weather's like in Austria though, so don't quote me on that one.
Right.
It's dark, so
Do you grow African violets? Okay,
Me?
I gotta ask, who grows African violets? You do? I heard they bloom for a long time and they rebloom. And no?
So I don't grow
they
them.
just
My
look like
mom,
grandmas.
yeah, but my mom can grow them so good. Like I don't understand. Like she's terrible with. I hope she doesn't listen to this, but she's not the best with houseplants. She like is one of those. The plant will be like dead, and she's like, "I'm gonna bring it back," and I'm like, "Throw it away and get another one." But she's really good at African violets and getting it to bloom. And the key for getting African violets to bloom is they make a little African violet pot. So it's like a glazed pot and it
Yeah.
has like a pot that you
They're
planted
cute.
in that has porous, yeah, and then the water soaks up because with African violets it's key that you don't want to get their leaves wet. They do not like wet leaves, so you just fill up the water underneath and she just uses her African violet food. And one thing that is really really key is African violets really like artificial light. So like she has them
Oh,
at the kitchen sink and there's a light right above it and she just leaves it on all the time, and I swear her African violets are like always blooming. I don't understand it because I've tried them and I can't do it.
okay. I was gonna go to Pike's and grab some because I kept getting, like, oh, they look so cool and they're purple and I love purple. But I had to ask.
Yeah. And they make
I
cool
guess
ones with
they
variegated
do give
leaves.
indoor plants.
There we go.
Yeah.
Inside and outside.
Awesome. Miracle-Gro, shout out. Teaspoon to
Teaspoon to a gallon
right?
of water.
Did I
Yep.
get that right?
Teaspoon. Yep.
All right. Very good. All right, Michelle, you're up next. We're going to let Kata have another sip of her giant tea glass. Before that, what is growing on with you?
Okay, I feel like we're drowning here in Atlanta this week. It's been raining these last few days, and I'm starting to notice some wet spots in areas. And I'm sitting here thinking, is this something that I could buy and remedy with plants? So, like, what are some plants that I should be thinking about that will take up a lot of water? Or do I just need to dig in some drainage? Like, what are your thoughts?
Is it like close to your house though?
No, it's like a between a fence and a driveway area where it's just kind of dipping. Like maybe I could just add a bunch of sand.
Are they flagging? Like, are they showing yellow? Is any of the plants in there like telling you that they're not happy?
There's no plants there right now.
Oh, no plants.
Shockingly.
Okay.
Oh, then definitely start with lots of plants. Shocking.
So
There are some areas that don't have as many plants.
would you have room for like a crepe myrtle?
Like willow.
Well, I was gonna.
I'm very careful with crepe myrtles.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I know.
Well,
Have you like thought about like doing like a perennial combo with like rushes just to take up the water, but then like maybe put like irises in between? Like there's a lot of like irises that really do well in that soggy kind of
Oh, really?
environment.
I didn't know
Yeah,
that.
so irises are like one of the plant perennials where you can get like irises that grew in the desert. And like I definitely now have to keep my promise and like send you a picture. But
Yes.
my dad has like this amazing picture in Iran where he found this iris. I'm kidding you not. The bloom was that big in like a desert. But then also there was
Wow.
irises just that are like better for like water.
Like pond plants, right? Basically pond plants. Huh.
Sort of like rain garden plants. And then I also like one of my all-time favorite plants to like plant in like boggy areas is Lobelia. Lobelia cardinalis.
Yeah. The
It's
red
like
one?
this red lobelia.
Yes.
It's native. Yeah. And it can take up so much water. So I always love doing like rushes or sedges that, maybe aren't that ornamental, but then you put like cool other perennials in between and it's like really attractive.
Sweet flag.
Okay.
You can use sweet flag too.
Sweet
I love
flag?
it to give you
The
a pop
yellow?
of color. Yep.
Okay, the chartreuse. Yeah. Okay.
I mean, it just depends
also,
too.
Your
like,
sun level is gonna.
Yeah, go ahead, Mario. That's what I was gonna say.
Your sun level is gonna dictate a lot of it.
Yeah.
because
Sure.
obviously, like how much water, how much, what level of inundation is going to be. It also is kind of a clear line of what plants are going to thrive.
Got it.
So a lot of times, if it's going to have standing water more than 72 hours, it's almost like a different category of plants, and you really need to
Mm,
stick with the wetland plants. But then if you're in this like, it's going to hold for like maybe a day or two,
I
that's
think
a
it's that.
category.
Yeah, I think it's more
So
a day or two type.
So that's even a day or two can really kind of do some damage. And then, sun level. So is it partial, full, or full shade?
It's partial, I would say.
Partial. And then, if you do another layer to that is
Yes.
like, this is the layers that I kind of look at it. It's like, do you want it to be native? Do you want it to be non-native? And if you say non-native, everybody attack her.
I know. Yeah. So I shouldn't say as long as it's pretty. That's what you're saying.
But and then you start going into bloom color
As
and
long as
texture.
it's not
Yeah.
invasive.
Yes, that too.
Mhm.
As long as it's not invasive, for sure.
Yeah, it's all native to Pangea, right?
Yes.
Anyway, so as I kind of go through those layers, I think having that combination of different colors and textures and whatever. But a lot of times, I like to play with in the soil permatil. Permatil does create a
Adding
lot of
that in.
oxygen in the water. You can play with sand. Some of the times, I seem to always overdo it with the sand, but just
Yeah.
like making it fluffy with a little permatil enables the drainage to kind of keep going.
It will help.
One other little fun feature that I've done before had a really bad, you could do like a sump. And essentially it's just like, think of like a post hole digger and you go as deep as you can and then you
Okay.
backfill it with rocks. So as that area kind of gets inundated, it'll go into this like sump kind of feel.
Yeah.
And then that'll bring some, just some relief for some of the plants if they become
Around.
like almost too much.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay. So those are some neat ideas. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, and another thing you could do
We
that's
can't
like
wait to see the transition.
trees.
I don't know. Trees.
If
will
you have
do it
room,
too. Yeah.
if you have room for trees, trees are going to really help dry up a spot that's wet because they just take up so much water. And not necessarily weeping willows, because if you have pipes,
Yeah.
weeping willows are not good in
Yeah.
concrete. I speak from
Exactly.
experience.
Oh, no.
River birches are another one that stay away from. But maple trees will be great. Oak trees. It's just trees really, because they're going to get such a wide root mat, and they take up so much water. So it's going to for me, my parents' backyard, we had a really bad swampy area, and we just planted a weeping willow, which I learned from experience. Don't plant next to the house. And then, but some maple trees and some oak trees and a poplar, and we don't have a water issue back there anymore.
That is awesome. Awesome. All right.
Love it. All right, Kata.
Okay,
What
I
is
kind of
growing
changed. I kind of changed what I wanted to talk about. It's still about Galanthus Snowdrops, but I wanted to start my cool story with like my cool rambling what's growing on with a cool story.
Yeah.
So right now we have the Snowdrop week at my nursery in Austria. So we have a lot of people, like super freaky, nerdy people coming and looking for snowdrops. It's so cool. But my dad showed me this wonderful, cool snowdrop. Now I'm second guessing myself. Did I already tell you that story about golden
No.
fleece?
No.
Okay, good. I was like, oh,
No.
okay. So
Tell
he
us
showed
about
me
the
this
golden
really
fleece.
cool snowdrop. And it's called the golden fleece, and it was sold for 1,700 pounds 7 years ago. One tiny bulb.
Oh my gosh. I'm
One.
looking it up now and it's not very cute. I mean, it's okay. What? Why? I don't understand.
Yeah, so like whenever we talk about like plant people being really, really crazy, like I feel like there is a whole nother level when it comes to
Snowdrop
snowdrops
nerds?
and
Mhm.
snowdrop nerds.
I don't-
It's a thing.
I love the
Like,
multi-layer, the multi-petaled one. Those are so cool. But this
The
like,
planas, yeah.
yes.
Yeah, so like yellow is the thing. It's also a thing that they have like dots on the outside. And then there is another one that I truly like. It's called the Green Mile. Like I like that type better. Or Mighty Atom. It's like a really, really big one, like huge. So like this week I've learned a lot about snowdrops, and I just decided I really, really want to share this with you. Um because it's kind of neat. We did
Yeah.
sell one bulb. Yeah, look at it. It's so cute.
That's
We sold one bulb for $150. So like
what?
7 years later, it's a little bit cheaper.
Wow.
uh, but it's been so much fun, like talking to those people. They are
Yeah.
definitely unique. They have such a love and passion for this one plant.
For snowdrops.
For snowdrops.
I've met people like that with like acers, Japanese maple, where they're like obsessed and they gotta have them all. But I've never thought about other plant categories where there might be aficionados.
Yeah, I mean, there's tons. I mean, if we want to talk about all my plant addictions, I love
Yeah, what are
hydrangea
you-
and citrus, and I don't know how long you want
Are
to sit
they
here and
Essex
go
But
on for.
would you travel and pay hundreds of dollars for like this one bulb?
I ordered a plumeria from Thailand.
Legally?
Is it
Yeah.
illegal? Oh, okay.
Yeah, someone
No,
charging
no.
you.
It had certification and everything, so
Oh.
it was legal. You can go on to
Okay.
Amazon, or you can go on. I bought it from eBay.
eBay? You can buy plants on eBay?
So one of the platforms that I've seen recently that's doing really cool things is called Plant Story. And so you get on there, especially for some rare, a lot of people with the indoor plants.
Oh, the
have a
house,
lot of
the
rare-
variegated, yeah. Cuttings.
Yeah. And so Plant Story, you can get up there and you can like sell, it's like a video marketplace. Pretty cool.
Yeah. Or you can just come to a crazy nursery like ours.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Now, Kata,
but
can you
anyway,
ship
that
the
being
US?
said, sorry.
Can you ship to the
no, we
US?
can't. Sorry, you gotta come and pick it up, my dear. But that being said, like a lot of those snowdrops are actually not really good for your all southern climate. So if any of our listeners are really looking for snowdrops, I can only recommend Galanthus albacii. That is a species that does really well in the south, but the rest is kind of not so good. If you do have snowdrops, I really recommend also fertilizing them in fall. So when you absolutely don't see them, you put a lot of compost on it. So that's the time where they like kind of multiply. And if you want to like divide them, wait for them for the flower to totally like, kind of become ugly, and then you dig it up and you divide it. And you really should do that every like 6 to 7 years.
Isn't that when you isn't that when you fertilize your daffodils and all of the bulbs? Like I was reading about that earlier today, and I think it's fall.
I think it's true for a lot of bulbs.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which seems weird because you don't even see them. So, but okay.
Yeah, for sure.
Awesome.
Especially with snowdrops, you better remember where they were.
Yeah, right.
Right.
No kidding.
So,
especially if you paid
sign?
$1,000.
Kata, what is the best sign? What's the best way to delineate? Like, okay, I planted this here. I am on the hunt for really good signage.
Classy.
Classy, but with a QR code so that like I can clip it. Like I want to see a video of what it used to look like.
Oh, that's
cool.
Man, your garden's going to be more high tech than mine.
Yeah,
and
that
so
sounds like
the best one that I've ever seen in all my travels in the US is actually Plant the Lights Nursery. They have I gotta like send you some pictures. I think I took some, but they have like teeny tiny signages. They're very like long, and they are kind of a bronze color, so they don't show as much. And they have the QR code and the name on top. And they hang, so they're also very slim. So I thought, like, for all the botanic gardens, those gardens that really, really have to keep up with where is what and blah, blah, blah. Juniper Level Botanic Garden at Plant the Lights has it really figured out to not be super annoying into your face.
Yeah, I hate the white.
I asked their owner. I asked the owner how much the machine was, and that is when I was not interested in that thing anymore because it was definitely out of my price range. But it looks great.
Wait,
If somebody
is
wants
this
to
it?
sponsor me, let me know.
Hold
you have
on.
it
Is
up?
this it? Is it, like I don't know if
Oh,
I
I
can.
see. Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
The
so no,
vertical.
those are the old ones. So those are the old ones
Oh,
that they used
Okay.
to use, but they were super wide and really into your face. And they just switched over last year to those like other ones. But yeah, they're really, really cute. But the machine was not cheap.
I am up for taking a road trip because I heard it's fantastic, especially in the spring, going
Mhm.
to Plant
sure.
Delights.
Yeah.
It's been on my bucket list for a
I
while.
want to go so bad. I lived in Charlotte
Me
for
too.
like 5 years, and I never went to one of the open houses. I regret
Wait,
it.
is it Raleigh or Charlotte?
Raleigh, but I mean,
Raleigh.
it's so close to Charlotte. It's like a 3-hour drive.
My
That's
kids
where I
have,
used
it's like
to-
6 hours from us, I think. My kids have zero interest. They're like, no, thank you.
I'm going to Raleigh on the 21st. If anybody's coming with me.
You should go.
Of course you are. Yeah.
Is that an
Is
open
it?
You
house
can
date?
also like no, nowadays they like let you actually just come. You just make an appointment. So
Oh,
that
okay.
is actually the place where me and my husband met.
No
Aw.
way.
So we were both we
Aw.
were the two interns working at Plant Delights Nursery.
Stop. What a great
Yeah.
story.
People delight.
Intern love
People
story.
delights.
People's delight.
I hope they have your picture somewhere hanging, like your wedding
Oh, it's
photos.
really funny. They have 100% guarantee on all their plants. So on my
Yes.
wedding day, I actually printed that. It said Plant Delight's 100% guarantee, and I put it on my husband's back. And I was like, can I give him back?
That's fantastic.
Yeah, it's a pretty great
Yeah.
picture.
They're one of the only, I think, nurseries that sells Cypripedium, which has been on my I'm gonna kill it, but I really want to order it and grow it list forever. The ground orchids.
But they actually
just
get
have
it
a
from
lot.
Germany.
Do
import
they?
it from Germany?
Well, that's why
Yeah,
every
it's
time I
a
talk to
nursery.
somebody, they're like, "It's too hot," and I'm like, "Ugh, "I still want one."
Oh,
Here,
though
Google
I
it.
really feel like if you get it established perfectly, they're really, really great. But yeah,
Yeah.
that nursery in
chances
Germany
of
is like
me
only
The chances of
you.
me getting it
You've
established.
got this.
Mm.
I believe in you. But it's only an hour for me. So how about you visit me and we'll go to that
There we
nursery,
go. There we go.
Cypripedium Nursery.
And then how do I bring it back though? Hold on. How do I share?
Well, that's
now
your
I want to
problem,
do
not
it.
mine. Then
Where's the
Wow.
disclaimer? Where's the disclaimer?
Right.
do not illegally import plants in.
We are going to get red
Wait.
listed, I'm sure.
Look at this. Look at it.
Oh, wow.
Can you see it? Did I do it correctly?
look at
That's
that.
beautiful.
Those are
They're
cool.
Yeah,
so
that's also
cool.
why.
But that's why I haven't bought
know.
them.
I
Because
love
if you can see the
Gisela.
price. They're so
Whoa.
I know.
Yeah. They're
For
crazy.
what?
Yeah,
For a 3.5 inch.
Gabriela, Gisela. Gisela is my favorite. So just to pressure your husband, but like my husband gave me one when I had a bad day at work. He came back and gave me a Cypripedium to cheer me up.
Did he?
All those husbands out there, I can highly recommend you make wives very
Dear
happy.
husband, if you are listening to this, all I want for my birthday is for you to be a good husband like Kata's husband and get me a Cypripedium. Thank you.
You just saw the link. It's
I know.
really easy. Just click
It's right
that button,
there.
swipe
It's
that
right-
card.
Swipe that card. There you go.
Plant
Okay.
nerds. I love it. Plant nerds. All right. So I'm going to share a little story of for what's going on. I recently got commissioned to do a planting plan for a home at Cape San Blas. So this is North Florida area. And they just bought this beautiful beach house. And they spent all the money on the beach house. And they're like, the landscape, they're like, our budget's really, really tight. But they paid me for a
Of
plan.
course.
And one of the things is when any homeowner is like kind of thinking about doing a project, they start with a plan, and then they can take a bite-sized piece of the plan to do a project. So when I presented this beautiful home, when I presented the plan, they nearly fell out of the chair because they were like, "How do I do all this work?" I mean, it was a because I'm going to design everything from every corner. This is like the plan. There's the house in the blue. And so
Wow.
Oh, no wonder they were like, where do I even start? Like, look at
where
that.
do I even start? And so the idea, and then, you look at all this plant list and really kind of a lot of fun stuff like ginkgo and wax myrtle, live oak, multi-trunk live oak, century plant, Duke's Garden, red cluster, bottle brush. Love that plant.
Osmanthus.
Maki podocarpus. I love it down there. And really just going through this whole plan. And I even included some photos because she was a little unfamiliar with Farfugium, which we talked about in one of the previous episodes.
Yes, the best plant. I love that plant.
Mhm.
I love that plant, like tucked in right by the stairs, where there's a lot of shade and shadows.
Yes.
And so when they see this, they're like, I can't afford this. How do I do this? So really the whole idea is sometimes you can kind of start in the corner and kind of work your way out. Obviously, you want to make sure that you're not trampling over anything if you want to do. So here's the rule, everybody. You work tallest, like heaviest to lightest, tallest to smallest, and you will always kind of paint yourself out of the room if you do that. And so it's really important. Also, I would preface with think about your utilities. So if you want to do anything like lighting or irrigation, grading, drainage, all that kind of stuff happens. And then tallest to small, or lightest to heaviest to lightest, tallest to smallest. And so we're going through that exercise. I thought it was relevant here because so many people get the plan right, but the process wrong. And the process is that you can pick a project within your plan and just work on that as long as you kind of work within that framework.
So are you saying that Michelle did it all right with her soggy spot to first think about the process and then go buy plants?
Well, yeah, think about the process, but also think about the soil, like amending the soil first. I mean, that's kind of obvious on that instance, but you do need to think about, all right, do I need to come in with a drainage or can I make it work with this? And if you say, yes, I can make it work, you still might want to do some amendments and put permatil and, maybe a little sump or, all these different little techniques before you really pick your plant.
Yeah.
Because it takes up room, it takes up oxygen, it takes up all this kind of stuff. So yeah. Picking your spring project, heaviest to lightest, tallest to smallest.
Good rule of thumb.
That's a good tip.
Cool. I love that.
Great tip.
All right. Well, we have about 2 or 3 more minutes. We have a lot of everything going on with each other's lives, like personal. And I think we have so many fun things because I know that some people do actually listen to us and some people are following along. And I think that, Kata, if you want to share just an ounce about where you are with the nursery and how people really could visit you, because this is Plant Nerd
I want
International.
to hear, yes.
So what's going on with the garden?
Well, so I am located. I figure all of our listeners will know Sound of Music. So I am located 45 minutes away from Sound of Music, in the direction of Vienna, so to the east, kind of on the border of Germany. We are a retail place, but we do ship for like all over Europe. And I would be blunt and bold enough to say that we are one of the retail nurseries with the biggest, like the highest amount of different plants in whole of Europe. What that means is we have about, it is bold, and I would love for somebody to challenge me on this, but I do think we have about 3,000 different cultivars of just herbaceous perennials. Of which we cultivate ourselves 80%. So we do not buy any liners, or like we do buy liners, but very, very little. So that means we do everything by cuttings, divisions, sowing seed.
That's
Some of the plants nobody else has in the world for sale. So that's also the reason why we do a lot of mail order, because a lot of people can't visit us. We ship, the majority, I would say, goes to Germany, but we also ship up to Sweden, Norway, France, Belgium. I was actually collecting orders this week and pulling them together and, lining them up so they can be packaged next week. And I think
That's
even
so
in
cool.
those 3 days that I've worked there officially now, I had like at least 9 different states. So it was really cool. Yeah, definitely check us out online. I just started the Instagram, but also my dad is very active on Facebook, where he probably provides a little bit of a higher level, you know, inspiration of his life. And then we do have a really cool website where
What's
you
his
can just
handle?
browse through the things.
What's your dad
Say
like?
that again?
What's your dad's
What's
handle?
his
How do we look him up on
username?
Facebook?
Yeah.
So my dad is on Facebook as Sarastro Cress. And then the Instagram is also Sarastro Stauden. Stauden means perennials.
Can you
We will
type
spell that
that
out.
into the
Yeah.
chat?
I will. I'll pull up the website.
Yes.
Yeah, so I always like, my favorite thing to do is to tell people to go on the website, go into the shop, and just type in Phlox paniculata. And that just gives you a little hint of what our nursery is about, because you will see that, I think last I checked, we have 178 different cultivars of Phlox paniculata. So if you usually go into a retail store, you find maybe 4 or 5. And if you go into a really, really great nursery, it's maybe like 10. So yeah, this
That's
is
crazy.
kind of an older video. So it's all that field in the front is now part of ours. We have a lot of show gardens. So it's really cool to come and like just, wander around and look at the plants there.
Have you
It's
come up with
all
your
outside.
master plan for your wedding?
My master plan for my wedding?
That
Yeah,
is
you gotta
that
get
is
the
the
gardens ready, I
personal.
remember.
Yeah, that is a personal update that we all want to hear about.
So the wedding is nearly planned. But yeah, I decided my wedding flowers are going to be only perennials. Funny enough that you ask,
That's
I
awesome.
actually just talked to the florist today. She works there. And we are doing exclusively plants from our nursery. So I'm really
That's
excited
so
to like kind of
cool.
record that. Yeah. Yeah, we have a lot of buses coming, like, little associations or people like garden lady groups or master gardeners. We don't have that, but like sort of those things, they come. So that was actually one of the groups that came, and one of the ladies had a 12-year-old son with a drone, and he was bored and he just took that video for us.
That's so
pretty funny.
cool.
Yeah. So as you can see, everything is outside. We only have really one greenhouse where we do all the propagation, one where we do all the shipping. We only have 3, including me, 4 full-time people, and then 4 part-time people. So yeah, it's a lot of work.
So cool.
It's hard work. It's so different from what I did before, but I can totally say, like, yeah, it's been really fun to be back. We're open every day, so if anybody is somewhere in Europe, please come, stop, say hi. Just have a look around. I'm definitely very grateful that I was born into such a fantastic place.
That's
so
awesome.
Cool. Yeah.
Does anyone else have personal news they want to share?
Maybe more professional. So my daughter lost her first tooth. That's the
wow, that's big.
I feel because it is a little bit of a graduation as a parent, because you kind of like, that's their baby teeth and now they have their adult teeth, and it does feel like I don't have a baby anymore. It's sad. It definitely like hurts a little bit. So the other little professional news: Surfscape just bought a garden center in Chattanooga. It's really exciting. It's amazing. The Glass Farm Nursery. So if you're in Chattanooga, you're going to get awesome Surfscape service, and we are going to be continuing the Glass Farm retail. They have wonderful community of customers, and we're just there just to provide a level of continuity and continuance on that, just keeping the torch going for it. 54 years. The place has been there 54 years.
That's
So
amazing.
we're just so glad. Yeah, it's a
What was it
beautiful
called again?
spot. It's called the Glass Farm Nursery, and it's in a small town called Rising Fawn, Georgia, but it's 20 minutes outside of downtown Chattanooga. And we couldn't be more excited. And we, this is the first step. This is the press. This is the exclusive press release right here.
Wow.
Yeah, that's it. So that's fun. Anybody else?
So proud.
No?
Come on,
Michelle?
I'm
Devin?
going to Chattanooga next week.
Oh,
So,
yeah. Devin will be the Dawn of Chattanooga. I don't know.
No, I'm just busy. It's just work. Spring. That's
Yeah,
it.
Oh,
spring
I
is
think this
upon
is
us.
why we all look a little tired. Like it is spring, but also I felt like, like we are all a little tired, but we also actually have so much to talk about now because there's so much things happening.
So much going on.
Sure.
I'm excited. I can't wait for like everything to start growing. I've been mulching and doing all this boring stuff, and it's just like I want everything to be beautiful this spring. So
Yes.
Well, let's do it. Well, thank you, everybody. Plant Nerd Podcast. I think this is episode, I don't know, like 16, 17. I don't know. This is amazing. I'd love to get to share plant talk with you guys. And we'll see you next time. Keep going and growing, everybody.
Cheers.
Bye.